Hi folks, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got something a bit different because we're going to show you the similarities and the differences between a apple cider vinegar and a hard apple cider. Now it sounds a bit odd, but believe me, they are so similar in the way we make them. There's a couple of little things that we're going to cheat with because I'd like to speed up the process a little bit, especially in the apple cider vinegar. I'm going to add some yeast as opposed to a 3% salt solution and letting the apples ferment naturally. So we're going to boost it a little bit so that the two can almost simultaneously be ready as far as the fermentation has gone. Yeah, I've just got 4 apples that we're going to cut and put into the bottle. But not knowing the sweetness, we're going to just add a little bit of sugar just to increase the fermentation possibilities, and with the yeast I'm sure we should be able to get it going quite quickly. And there you can see we just rough chop it and pop them into our fermenting bottle, and I'm just going to cut up the rest quickly and we will continue from there. So we just keep popping them in here, and I think we might just get away with only 3 apples as opposed to 4. So now we will carry on from there. I'm just going to add a bit of sugar to some water, and then we will top the bottle up and add the yeast. I'm not going to measure the sugar because I'm just topping sugar up as an option to get a bit more sugar into the actual mix. It's not dependent purely on the sugar because we're going to use the natural sugar of the apples to do the fermentation. So this is just a little boost and a little cheat that we're doing. Okay, we pop that in and we will just top it up with water. Okay, now the simple thing is we're going to use the same fermenting lid that we did for the chilies the other day. The only difference now is between this and what we're going to do with the hard cider is that this one will be able to breathe and will be able to get oxygen back into this product, which with your normal hard cider we don't want to have oxygen in, because the oxygen then changes the alcohol into acetic acid, which we end up with the apple cider vinegar coming from the acetic acid. Whereas when we're going to make the hard cider, we're ending up with alcohol, and that is the difference between the two, although the actual process is so similar. And you'll see these one real variant, and I'll show that to you as we go along. And yeah, I'm going to use a brewing yeast, and it's going to just a couple of gram in there just to give us that start. And now I'm just going to shake it around a little bit, pop in this, and we will close up our bottle and let the fermentation begin. There we go, all set and ready. Okay, we're going to move along now to making the hard cider. The hard cider we're going to make with pure apple juice, 100% apple juice, and the difference now is I'm also going to add a little bit of sugar just to up the possibility of the fermentation, and we're going to use a brewing yeast there as well. And yeah, very simple. We're going to put a bit of the juice into the bottle, add a little bit of sugar, dissolve it, then add the balance in and move along from there. add a little bit and pop a little bit of sugar in just to give it that little bit of a burst, and then we will dissolve it. Okay, after we've dissolved the sugar, we just add the balance of the apple juice, and don't go too far. Just leave a bit of space at the top so that your ferment can carry on without bubbling right over. So we're only going to go to about over here and give it another little bit of a swirl. And the reason why we're doing a little bit of a swirl is just to get a bit of oxygen into the mix as well. And now we will pitch the yeast. And the difference now is we're putting on the airlock. Now this airlock is going to bubble. As you can see, we've put a bit of sanitizer in here, and the sanitizer just stops things from crawling in there. It'll bubble, and that is the carbon dioxide going out of the actual mix, and that will be eventually converting this into an alcohol product. And this one, as you can see, has got nothing, and that basically is the difference between the two. And as you can see, we've prepared this whole thing in a very similar method, and it's the same product with a different it's the same principle, but with a different outcome. And now all you have to do is store it in a nice dark, warm place and leave it for a week. We're going to come back and I'll show you what it looks like after a week, and if we need to go to 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, we'll carry on until we get it 100% right. But there you go. Is it apple cider vinegar or is it hard apple cider? And as you can see, it's the next morning and we've had a lot of activity here on both the bottles. You can see how it's developing as it goes along. We haven't done anything as far as determining the alcohol content in the hard cider, because it's purely a test to show you the similarities between making vinegar and making hard cider. To determine the alcohol content, you've got to use the hydrometer, test the viscosity before and after, and that way you get your percentage ABV. So this is the beginning of the fermentation, and we will carry on until we are done, and we will show you the end result.